Welcome to TITONI here in Grenchen, Switzerland.
We are happy to have you here at our headquarters in Switzerland. It has been our great-grandfather Fritz Schluep who founded the company in 1919, so more than 100 years ago. After Fritz Schluep, it was Bruno Schluep and then Daniel Schluep who took over the company, and today my brother Mark and myself, we represent the fourth generation of our family company.
So let's go inside and have a look at our headquarters and our production site. We start in the product development department. That's where all the new watches, the new ideas start to become real watches. Of course, one question many visitors always ask first is, where do all these ideas for new watches originate from? To be honest, there is not one clear answer. There are many different sources, such as our long history where many ideas and inspiration is coming from for new watches. There is the market, our retailers, our customers who come back to us with feedback, with ideas for new watches. There are new technologies and materials that become available and offer new opportunities. And last but not least, sometimes we just ask an external designer to come up with a new inspiration, with a new idea for a watch. With this drawing, we get a first impression how the watch is going to look like before we start then with the planning on the computer. After the drawings, Daniel will start to create the plans, first in 2D and then also in 3D. Thanks to these plans on the computer, it's easier for us to colorize the watches and also to see how different materials or finishing could possibly look like. With all these plans, we always show them to our partners, to different people to get feedback about the watches, so we can refine the design, the little details of the watch in every step to really get a good final product. Once we have the plans ready on the computer, we will also make a 3D printing of the prototype. This is the first prototype and helps us to get an understanding of the actual size. We can even put it on our wrist to see how it lies on our arm. One of the key challenges for us is of course as well the price segment. We try to create affordable watches. So sometimes we have to limit ourselves a bit in having very crazy ideas or very special materials and make something that is feasible and we can produce a watch which is in our range. Now let's go to the production and see how our watches are being produced.
Here we are in our quality control department, where we make sure that all watch components which we receive from our supplier meet our quality standards.
So now we're here in the first section of our actual production. Here we are in the T1, that's where the movement is being assembled, and we will see how it's assembled by handwork but also by the support of different machines. These machines help to fixate the platine where all the different wheels and components are being fixated to. Here we have the ground platine. This ground platine has already many holes and places where these wheels are being fixated to. So now when you have a close look at the production, you're going to see how they're being fixed to this ground platine. Among other movements, here we produce also 100% of our TITONI T10 movements. Actually, all the steps are taking place here with us in Grenchen to assemble our manufacture movement. Except there is one step, namely for the certification of the accuracy. The COSC certification is actually a process where this non-profit organization, which is located in Biel, checks the accuracy of the watches in different positions and under different conditions and approves that the accuracy of the watch is between -4 and +6 seconds a day. So after the assembly of the movements come to this last final but essential step where the watches are being regulated and the accuracy of the time is being set. As I've been talking about the T10 movement, our manufacture movement, let's once have a little bit a closer look at it. We have here actually once the display of all the 168 components which are included in our manufacture movement. We are proud to say that we've actually developed this movement by ourselves, and we assemble it all here in Grenchen, as you've seen before. To be honest, the components are not produced by ourselves. We do have specialized suppliers which produce always only one or a few components, as they're highly specialized in this field. However, all these partners are actually near us, so they're all reachable in 1 or 2 hours by car here from Grenchen. The final movement then is set into several products of ours. We can find it in the line 1919, which was launched in the year 2019, as well as our C-Scoper 600 collection, which was launched in 2020, but of course also additional models were introduced later. Here we're in the T2, the watch assembly. So from the first section we get the movement, and then here the dial as well as the hands are added to the movement before it comes into the case and therefore gives the entire watch head.
So here we are now in the final quality control. After the watch are assembled, they come here in the final control. Here we test 100% of the watches, so every watch runs through the same quality tests. We do a visual testing, we do the water resistance tests, we test the watches for their accuracy as well for the power reserve. To maintain our high quality standard, we add another 20% margin on top. For the C-Scoper 600 collection, which has a water resistance of 600 meters, we add 20% and we test the watch up to 720 meters. After the watches are tested for their water resistance, they got winded up and tested for their accuracy as well as the power reserve. Afterwards, we do also the visual control to see if there are any scratches left on the watch which have to be removed. So for all the watches which fail one of those quality tests, they will go again to our watchmakers who can rectify the problems, and then the watch will go again through the whole process of quality control.
After all the checks are being done, we come here to the final step where the bracelet is added to the watch head and therefore makes a complete watch. With the final watch in hands, the watch gets again a quick visual check before it goes into packaging and is being shipped to the entire world and into our sales counter, where it hopefully finds soon a happy customer. It was a great pleasure to show you our offices and production here in Grenchen, Switzerland.
Thank you very much for your visit.